Rules of the Road, Chapter 28. I sat on the rock in the rookery of the Lincoln Park Zoo, waiting for my father. I'd always liked the rookery because it was a little haven tucked away from the noise of the city. It had a small pond and rocks and moss and plants surrounding it. Ducks swam and birds sang and butterflies fluttered overhead. I always felt at peace here, even if things were going wrong other places. A mother duck and her babies swam by. Funny how in nature you see so many single female parents. Lions, bears, dogs, cats. The mother always gets the kids, and the father goes off somewhere to start another litter. I mentioned this to my mother once. She said anyone who gets the kids gets the deal. I threw a piece of bread into the water. The mother duck let the baby get it. And then another piece of bread hit the water. It wasn't mine. I turned to look. My father was standing there holding a bag of bread. I didn't know if you'd come, I said. He threw another hunk of bread into the pool. I didn't either. I tried not to study him to see if he was drunk. He looked okay, but I'm not drunk, he said, sounding normal. Okay. You wanted to talk? Yeah. Dad sat down on the rock that was higher than mine. He was wearing clean jeans and a golf shirt. I don't apologize for what happened with your license, I started. He let out a long sigh. I would do it again, Dad, to save your life and mine. I had a good friend who... I was handling it, Jenna. No. This was going down the toilet fast. I lost my license, Jenna. I've got to do 6 weeks of community service. Good. Just listen, I pleaded. I threw up my hands and the words poured out of me. I remember the smells mostly, Dad. The drinks with the half-eaten olives. The aroma of my childhood was gin, bourbon, and scotch. I'd sniffed the glasses in the house. Took a lick off a bottle once. It was awful. Something's wrong with us, I kept thinking. This doesn't happen at my friends' houses. I'd go to liquor stores with you, Dad. All the store owners knew you. You were happy in those shops. And I tried to be happy too, but I knew that in just a few hours things were going to change. After the divorce, I used to sit on your side of the bed and pretend you were still there. I'd wrap myself up in the bathrobe you left behind and curl up like you were going to drop through the ceiling all healed. I'd look for you around every corner. I'd try so hard to be perfect so you'd come back. I tried to protect everyone, help Faith, be no problem to Mom. I thought if things were easier, you might stop drinking. I slapped the rock, shaking. I took your drinking on my shoulders, Dad, but I can't keep it there anymore. I've changed. I love you, but I can't be with you unless you change, because seeing you so out of control, seeing you wasting your life is too hard for me. I can't pretend like you don't have a problem. You need help, Dad. You're an alcoholic. There's help everywhere for what you've got, but you've got to want to get it. I know, he hissed, how to handle my liquor. No, I said back to him. That's a lie. You don't. He got up slowly, glared at his bag of bread, and hurled the whole thing into the pond, scaring the ducks that scattered, quacking in every direction. I stood up too, stood tall. Please hear me, Dad. If you keep drinking, I won't see you. I won't talk to you on the phone. I need a sober father. Faith does too. That's pretty rough, Jenna. I know it. Dad walked heavily across the stepping stones toward the gate, then turned back to look at me. Anger, hurt, and love carved on his face. I looked at him too, but not the old way with guilt and fear. I didn't know what would happen now, later, or ever. All I know is that I'd said it, finally, spoke the truth, and saying it was like losing 500 miserable pounds that I'd been lugging around for most of my life. He stood there for the longest time, then shrugged finally and headed out. It wasn't until then that I realized I'd been crying. I always wondered why I had a father who was an alcoholic. Now I knew. It made me strong. It made me different. It showed me how to say no to the darkness. I looked at the pond. A few ducks were back swimming around Dad's plastic bag. It wasn't right throwing that bag in there. This was a bird sanctuary. I found a long stick and fished it out of the pond. It's okay, I said to the ducks, tore up the bread, tossed it in the water, folded the wet plastic, put it in my pocket. I was always cleaning up after him. I sat on a rock, aching for my father, but with the ache, I felt lighter and older. I always thought I'd have a permanent broken part in me because of the problems with my dad. Now I see that it isn't the problems along the way that make us or break us. It's how we learn to stand and face them that makes the difference. I squared my shoulders, heard a rustle in the bushes. A scared baby duck stuck his head out, gave a little quack. I had one piece of bread left. I held it out for him. He waddled out, unsure. Go for it, I said. Make me proud. I threw the bread in the water. He dove in after it, raced past the other ducklings, gobbled it up. Daring duck beats odds to win. Another true survivor, like me.